Welcome back to the Stache Club Wrestling Podcast. I'm one of your hosts. My name is John.
And I'm the other host, Dante.
It's just us.
Just us today.
This week.
Yep.
Thank you to Frankie and Alex for joining us the past couple weeks. But we are back to just the in-studio crew
just
here.
Just us two.
Big week. A lot happened. Usually the shows fall in Mania. Take a little dive. Not here.
No.
Here. Before we get too deep into this, I want to let you know that today's episode is sponsored to you by BABLE. Thank you, BABLE, for sponsoring today's show. We'll hear more from them later in the show. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff. Again, it was definitely a shorthanded notes week, so I don't want to say it.
Hey, we've had some loaded podcasts the last few weeks, so I think we're definitely due for a nice chill.
It's a chill episode.
Run of the mill. We're going through some notes here, some shows, but it's going to be nice and chill today.
We got all the big stuff, and then we're actually going to end the show with some AEW Dynasty predictions because that's on Sunday.
That is this Sunday, yes.
Which
came up quick.
I know. All of a sudden,
very
I knew it was after Mania, but then all of a sudden, I was watching AEW last night, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's Sunday."
Because I thought it was
I think it's like the 20th.
I thought it was the last Sunday of April. Apparently, it's the second to last Sunday of April. So, yeah, got that all confused. But yeah, we have some predictions for you guys.
I don't have. I'm gonna do mine on the fly.
Yeah, well, I'm just finding out right now that it's the Sunday, so I'll also be doing it on the fly.
Yeah, I mean, we can just jump right into it then.
Let's do it.
Not going in order here. We are in the era of the Bloodline 2.0.
Yes, we are.
They're calling it.
Yes, we are.
On SmackDown,
exciting.
Tama Tonga joins the Bloodline. Solo kind of took charge, really stepping up, maybe as the tribal chief, not confirmed.
Nope,
in a very tribal chief way, kind of like taking the reins from Paul, and Paul being like, well, Roman didn't say this, tribal chief didn't say this. Solo really taking charge. They took out Jimmy.
Yes, they did.
Which
losing has consequences.
That was the whole thing. Yep. Losing has consequences, and like they were saying that early in the show, and then Solo bringing that back to be like, losing has consequences and giving those consequences. The question here is, which is it's not confirmed, but this is what the general consensus is. Yep. It seems like Jimmy's out. Either it's just, I'm not fully, I mean, obviously we haven't been told yet. I wouldn't be surprised if that was just consequences. Maybe he's not out yet.
Sure.
But also that could have been his exile. We don't really know.
Not really confirmed yet.
Yeah, this is exciting. I don't know too much about Tama Tonga, so I'm kind of excited to see. I know apparently he had really good stuff in New Japan.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm also excited to just kind of see his stuff on the main roster. But what are we looking at? What are we thinking for Bloodline 2.0?
I'm honestly so excited to see what happens between now and Mania next year.
Yeah,
because I know a long ways away. It's a year away, but just with Roman being out now, because I think it's people are kind of assuming or thinking he's going to be out for a little bit, take some time off, as he probably should and stuff.
I think there's a photo of him on the set of a movie.
I saw that, with Seth Rogen or something like that. I think is in the movie. Some other people too. So he's going to be gone for a little bit. In the meantime, you kind of have to continue this Bloodline thing, and it's you can't be rinsing, repeating it. So you have to bring in some new guys. Obviously, Tonga has been rumored to debut for a little bit. They said he signed, I think, less than a month ago or something like that, around that time. Also, Jacob Fatu, another family member, another Samoan, got signed. He hasn't made his debut yet, but there's rumors that that will eventually happen too.
I'm most excited. I just admittedly don't know too much of Tama Tonga. I didn't even know too much of Jacob Fatu up until maybe a few weeks ago. But the clips and highlights I see of him,
unbelievable.
I have
super athlete.
I got a buddy who, as of this past WrestleMania, he's like, oh, I'm getting back into wrestling, and he's sent me 2 Jacob Fatu clips, and he's just he's probably just see it on his reels or TikTok or whatever, and he's just like, this guy's unbelievable, and I'm like, it's a good time to hop back 100%, on, brother.
Yeah, no,
that guy is unfucking real.
Yeah, I'm excited because too, again, with Roman out and The Rock is away for now, but he's still going to be around, so he's going to have his whole thing going on.
I think SummerSlam is going to be a checkpoint here for whether The Rock comes back,
Roman comes back, things happen. For what it seems like, from this past SmackDown, we're kind of talking about nothing got confirmed of whether Jimmy's out or not. To me, that seemed like he was getting kicked out of the Bloodline.
Kind of does.
I mean, if we think about it, like since the Usos broke off from each other, like Jay had the title match at SummerSlam, Jimmy turned on him. Jimmy really hasn't done anything like as far as like in ring and stuff like that. So I think this kind of like it makes sense, like long time coming. It's like, what has he really attributed to the Bloodline over the last few months? You could say the same thing about Solo. I mean, since he beat Cena, he hasn't won a single match. The whole thing. But he's also kind of been like the heir. Like he's going to be the next tribal chief. Roman Reigns has kind of been like keeping him by his side for when that does happen. And with Roman losing, it seems like that power is going to Solo's head. Seems like he's putting together his own bloodline. And I'm not trying to put on the aluminum foil hat this early on, but to me, it seems like we're going to be getting two bloodlines. Roman's bloodline, The Rock's bloodline, and whenever those two bloodlines clash, it's going to be a year-long thing, I'm sure, but that's what I'm anticipating right now.
Speaking of that, on Raw, Jay did have a little backstage segment where he did kind of allude to, like, you know, they asked him about, you know, to see what happened to Jimmy and and Jay just kind of went like, it's tough, you know, at the end of the day, he's my brother, and kind of like alluded to like, if he wants to like come back on this side,
he's still
and then,
blood.
You know, they kind of went past it quick, but he was just kind of like, you know, it's not, you know, I wouldn't close the door on my brother.
100%.
So yeah, I mean that's the leading rumor, is that you got like Roman, Usos, and then I don't know, one other member.
So I saw some people on Twitter saying like Sami Zayn comes back.
Oh yeah,
which would be funny. Yeah, I don't know what.
Who knows?
The numbers will be.
You know, people are saying have this in a War Games match, which I don't know if we're getting Rock. In a War Games match.
That would be pretty crazy. Yeah, we're asking for a lot at that point, but you never know.
But yeah, I mean, no, that would be it. They're proving to us that like we haven't heard the inning. We don't know what inning we're on.
Yep.
I think during WrestleMania we all thought like this has got to be at least the 7th. Like they got to be at least maybe 8th or whatever.
I think it was the 9th inning for his title reign. But as far as the whole bloodline story goes, I mean, we could still be we might not be in the 7th inning stretch right now.
You know, and they're like they said, they're proving to us that like, you know, they have so much more to tell with the other family members, and there's other steps to take, and you know. I think Solo stepping up to kind of tell this story, and like the tension between Roman and Solo whenever that match inevitably happens.
100%. And I like this for Solo too, because it's like it's legitimizing him more.
For sure.
Again, he hasn't won since he beat John Cena.
Which, credit to him, he's looked dominant without getting a win since.
100%.
But 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
So
So like him kind of taking charge here and being the leader is like, oh shit, okay, he has some sort of power. He has that sort of like leadership feel to it, kind of. So I think this is, I mean, who's going to benefit the most from this? Honestly, I think Solo. As far from what I've seen on Friday, it seems like he's going to benefit from Roman being out and kind of maybe taking over a new bloodline.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what they do with it. We'll probably get some answers tomorrow on SmackDown in terms of like,
maybe we'll see another debut.
I mean, at this point, we're just counting down the weeks until Jacob debuts.
Honestly,
people are saying maybe Tama Tonga should have spent some time at NXT first. Same thing could be said with Jacob.
No one really knew where they were going to show up initially. Like, if no one even knew if they were going to be brought into the whole bloodline thing, if they were going to be introduced as family to them, you know?
Which, like, I agree in the sense of, like, use NXT for what it is in the building star sort of thing. But if you want that, like, surprise, oh shit, who is this sort of thing, like, if you introduce them to NXT, then that's 6 months of, like, seeing their face. And once they finally get called up, it's like, oh, we know who that is.
Exactly.
You know, we're kind of waiting for this.
I think Tonga,
I kind of like the surprise.
100%. I think Tonga is also, he's a made man. Like, he's been on the indies in New Japan for so long. Like, even the reaction, I was actually surprised that he got as big of a reaction as he did, because I was kind of thinking, like, the same thing. If he got put on the main roster, would everyone know who he is? Or if you did debut him in NXT, you have time to build him up, people get more familiar with him.
My guess is people didn't know, and this is just speaking on like the general WWE audience. There's nothing wrong.
Like a casual fan. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I also didn't know too much about Tama Tonga, but like, my guess for the reaction is they just saw some guy in a hoodie and we're just like,
another
something's happening.
Yeah, it's like, oh, another cousin. Yeah, 100%.
But yeah. My guess is most people didn't know who he was or whatever. And I mean, who knows?
It's a reaction to oh man, like this is happening right, 100%. Yeah, no, it's super exciting. I think it makes sense that they put him on the main roster and threw him into this. Like, you don't really have to waste his time or anyone else's time.
I would hope he has a match. I hope he has a match straight up on SmackDown.
I was gonna say, hopefully, like as time goes on, like he'll get in the ring. People become more like he'll be in like obviously he's in a prominent storyline now, but like for himself, like setting himself apart and stuff. I don't think anything was announced or confirmed.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But I would hope that within the next week or two, he gets a match.
Yeah, just give him a little something, you know? Doesn't need anything crazy.
He's great. So I think fans will love him. Once they become more familiar with him, I think they'll be huge fans of him.
Rhea Ripley forced to relinquish her title due to injury she suffered last week on Raw. Tough.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I was saying last week, I was like, I want her carrying the belt into Mania next year. Like, I want her to have a 2-year-long reign. Whoever dethrones her, it's a big moment, everything. I wasn't on Twitter all day on Monday because I was moving and stuff like that. So when I got on later and I was looking, I saw the whole Rhea Ripley thing. And at first I thought it was like a story thing because obviously they had the thing last week and you saw like she was favoring her shoulder. I was like, oh, they're playing it off or something like that. So I was thinking, oh, she's going to come out, do this, whatever. Nope, it's real. Super disappointing, dude. I mean, she is. I mean, we praise her all the time on this show. Like her aura, just her star power is for men and women. Like she's almost at the very top for WWE. And you know, it's a big loss for the division. It's a big loss for the Judgment Day too, losing their leader.
And she seemed like, I mean, clearly too, but like seeing photos, like the segment on Raw in general, and then also seeing like, you know, there's a backstage photo I saw with her and Triple H, and like definitely you can tell how big of a blow this is to her. Yeah. She's just like fuck,
big time.
You know, I get it.
At the top of your game like that. Yeah. A lot of people were comparing it to Cena when he got hurt in 2007, then he returned at the Rumble and stuff like that. 'Cause it's like had a year-long title reign, top of your game. Finally she got a huge win at Mania, and then this unfortunately happens. It sucks. It really does.
I don't know the timeline for it. Apparently, it's the same injury, which kind of adds to the story of that Liv Morgan had.
Interesting.
Liv Morgan, if I remember correctly, was out for a little bit for sure.
Yeah, I don't think they confirmed if she needed surgery or not. I think that's what they're waiting on to see what the timeline is, but she'll be out for a little bit.
Glass half full is they really, and I like what they did here, they really played this into a story with Liv. Again, with it being the same injury or something similar with the shoulder. And then Liv came out and and you know, Rhea was like, when I come back, I'm coming back for blood and stuff like that. So I think grain of salt is they're setting up they're adding to the feud, they're adding to the story, and they're setting up Rhea for a big comeback. Meanwhile, I think they can have someone like Liv run with it.
Yeah.
And then, because I've been really excited for this Liv and Rhea
that was going to be the program, obviously, after she attacked her. That's what we were going into. Yep.
But now they have an opportunity to do the same match down the road, have it flipped.
Right.
You know, Liv's the champ, Rhea's looking to get it back.
People have been saying like Rhea should turn face or something like that. Like not necessarily turn face, but like people cheer her already. Right. So it's like, I think this only adds to it. Like,
I think so. I don't think that's crazy.
Because Liv, I mean, she's always been, you know, for the most part, a baby face, and now she has that. Now she really has heel heat and stuff like that.
She'd have to do a lot. She'd have to do something crazy to get people to turn on her, though. I think it'd take a lot for people to start booing Liv Morgan.
Yeah,
you know?
I think she's like mixed, kind of. But I think her, because I'm assuming we're going to talk about who we think's going to win the World Heavyweight Championship now in the females. I also like how quickly they're going to crown a new champion. Like this Monday, like they're not wasting any time. No like tournaments that lead into like the next pay-per-view.
Is it a match that's announced? What are they doing?
I don't think they announced any matches or anything. I would assume maybe it's like 2 triple threat matches, and then at the end of the night, whoever wins both those matches face off or something.
I mean, story-wise, I got my money on Liv.
It would make the most sense if they gave it to Liv. I know it might be a little bit predictable, but we've said it before. Predictable isn't always a bad thing. And you give her a run. I mean, she came up short in the Royal Rumble 2 years in a row. She's come up short. She didn't have a WrestleMania match this year. However long Rhea's out, why not give Liv the title? Let her carry it for a little bit. I mean, she's amazing. We love Liv. Have her hold the title, get some heel heat, and then when Rhea comes back, you revisit it, and there you go.
We want to take a quick moment to pause in the episode to tell you about our sponsor today, BABBLE. Did you know learning actually makes a sound? It's true. Listen to this. That's the sound of you learning a new language with BABBLE. We recently got the chance to learn wrestling directly from a pro. The learning curve was shortened with all of the wisdom and advice that was directly shared with us. The same goes with learning other skills as well. BABBLE is the pro to go to when it comes to learning a new language. BABBLE's quick 10-minute lessons are handcrafted by over 200 language experts to help you start speaking a new language in as little as 3 weeks. Their tips and tools are approachable, accessible, rooted in real-life situations, and delivered with conversation-based teachings so you're ready to practice what you've learned in the real world. BABBLE's convenient courses have helped me learn real-life conversation skills in a different language. It's easy to prep for my next trip abroad. Learning how to ask for directions, how to order food, and speak to merchants without having to consult language apps while I'm on vacation is priceless, I tell you. Plus, they have speech recognition technology that helps improve your pronunciation and accent. If this sounds good to you, download BABBLE. Here's a special limited time deal for our listeners. Right now, get up to 60% off your BABBLE subscription, but only for our listeners at babbel.com/stache. Again, get up to 60% off at babbel.com/stache, spelled BABBEL.com/stache, STACHE. Rules and restrictions may apply. Thank you, BABBLE, for sponsoring today's episode. Now back to the show. We got Jade and Bianca, seemingly officially a team.
Yeah,
and I love it. I think it's great. They beat. I didn't write it down. I think it was Chelsea and Piper. Could be wrong, but either way, they're really establishing these two as a team, which I think the women's tag division really needs. Just in terms of established teams, I think they need some star power.
Sure.
And I think we saw the 3-on-3 at Mania, but I think just a straight up Jade and Bianca versus Kabuki Warriors for the titles. Boom! I think it's really going to do wonders for the tag division.
I think the pairing of Jade and Bianca checks off a lot of boxes. One, it helps strengthen the tag team division, like you said. Two, and people might not like this, people may like this. I think it gives Bianca, it separates her from the world title picture, what she's been involved in for a long time. I think it'll be refreshing to see her, do something different.
If you don't have Bianca near a title picture, you need to give her something important to do.
Exactly. And if there's anybody on the roster that could help elevate those tag team championships, Bianca's one of those people. So I think that helps. And another check is Jade. I think pairing her, putting her in a tag team to start off her career here, I think will help just get her comfortable being, in wrestling in front of, the big crowds and stuff like that. Just kind of getting the feel for, the style of wrestling in WWE instead of just throwing her into the fire as a single superstar.
Especially since they don't have like a mid-card women's title.
Exactly.
The women's tag titles can kind of be that. Put those on her, have her run with those for a little bit.
Right.
And then picture this. Someone turns on someone.
There's
then
your Mania match.
You get Jade Bianca, whether it's Mania or even
anywhere else.
somewhere closer.
Right.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff to do with that. I like it. I'm hoping it focuses. I'm hoping that draws more focus to the women's tag division.
Yeah, and I think too, like you said, there's no mid-card title. Jade's another one of those, and I know she's just debuted and stuff like that, but she's someone that you will always have in the championship picture, but it's too early to give her a world championship, and you don't want her to lose.
Right.
So it's you give her a world championship match, she loses, it's all right, you kind of lose the credibility there. So I think putting her in this division, put a lot of wins under her belt with Bianca, will really prepare her and kind of set her up for being a huge single star when that does happen.
Speaking of contending for championships, the number one contender match for Cody's, apparently they've dropped Universal, the undisputed WWE Championship is
Universal's
what I'm hearing.
Stupid, yeah.
AJ Styles and LA Knight both won their matches, so they're running back.
Love it.
They're doing a WrestleMania rematch to determine the number one contender. Heavy favorite is AJ Styles,
100%.
which I also hope for.
I agree. Yep.
You have the which I know people who are so quick to tell me that they were never in Bullet Club together. However, they were both former Bullet Club members. Yes. That's all you
That's all
need.
they were both
That's
in
all you need.
They were both in a group that is always revolving members and stuff like that, different leaders, different people coming and going. They were both in the Bullet Club.
And it's even cooler that they never were in at the same time, because I think they were both. I mean, again, this is someone I don't know too much Bullet Club stuff, but I think they may have both been leaders.
Yes,
maybe.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
They both
so
led their own form of the Bullet Club. I think so. AJ, he signed with WWE early 2016. That's when his run ended, like the Bullet Club stuff, New Japan, and then Cody left.
I believe that's when Kenny kicked him out, right? No,
I'm not gonna say yes or no because I don't know. I don't want to put false things out there. But I think Cody left around that time or a little bit before or after, and that's when he kind of started his thing going and did the Bullet Club. So yeah, they never got to cross paths before. And hey, I know no one's won anything yet, but it makes sense. LA Knight won at Mania. He got the bigger win. I think AJ Styles getting this win. AJ and Cody, just like don't even have to mention the history, like the whole they were in Bullet Club. That match is going to kick so much ass.
Apparently, they've never faced each other, which I guess makes sense. That's what I saw on Twitter.
I mean, based off what I just said, I guess that does make sense. They've never crossed paths before.
I did see, the tweet I saw was AJ and Cody have never faced each other, but AJ and Dusty Rhodes face each other in 2003 in TNA.
Crazy.
For some fucking
so
reason.
You know that's going to get brought up 100%.
Yeah.
One thing I love too, I don't know if you ever noticed this, is that TNA has they always post like the YouTube videos of like when something big happens. Like when Cody won at Mania, it was like the complete history of Cody Rhodes and TNA, and then they posted the full match after AJ won on SmackDown, AJ versus Dusty Rhodes or whatever. I find that so funny.
They'll do that a lot with like if like something gets mentioned on Dynamite or like, you know, the Young Bucks do something, whatever, then like 5 minutes later, like the reference will be posted.
It's like they have a heads up of what's gonna happen, or they have all these videos in their drafts just like ready to click publish.
I just looked up.
I actually want to watch that match. It's on YouTube, so we can watch the full match.
AJ Styles versus Dusty Rhodes full match. It was NWA-TNA pay-per-view number 65.
Crazy.
I don't know too much of what that means. That's crazy.
Yeah. Back then, I think it was like they had the NWA title in TNA. And I think they just started TNA. Maybe it was it was like TNA/NWA still, but yeah, crazy the history.
AJ's not. Sorry, I just read a comment. Yeah, AJ and LA Knight didn't happen yet, right?
No, that's tomorrow.
Okay, first top comment is who is here after Styles versus Cody in that?
Oh no, they're just they're getting ready for people to come back to it.
Oh my god, so many fucking guys. I just want to see what it looks like. Oh yeah, 2003.
Okay, young AJ. Where's Dusty?
Dusty coming from the crowd. Oh, he's like in the middle of the
match. Oh, he's bloody. Oh, man.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, I should go back and watch this. It looks wild. Holy shit.
Wrestling in 2003 was a little different. Is that Vince Russo?
That's who I thought it looked like. Where'd he go? There he is.
Looks like him.
Anyway. Yeah, I'm excited for that match whenever it happens. I don't think Cody's losing, but
no.
But I think that's gonna be. I hope they like lean in a little bit to like the Bullet Club stuff. Maybe AJ comes out in like the black and white.
Yeah,
or, like, you know what I mean.
I mean they've made mention to Bullet, like references to Bullet Club with Cody before.
Even
like
Cody
that.
when
Cody does the exactly. So
which I don't think he did it. I was kind of looking for it. I don't think he did it at Mania when he won the title.
I hadn't noticed he did.
He did it. He did it on the Raw or SmackDown before when he did like whatever. He did like a good promo and he was just like on his way to the title. He did it then. When I watched back the match, I was like, did he do any Bucks reference?
Well, they did show that to kind of make up for that. I guess they did show pictures of him and Kenny and him and the Young Bucks in the package going into Mania. But yeah, I mean they referenced it before. I think WWE is over the last few months is very like they talk about where people have wrestled before and stuff, and their history and all that. So I'm sure we will get a few callbacks, a few references here.
From what I'm hearing, we're gonna get more of that because I think
when is Backlash? Is it?
Oh, good question. Let's see.
Is it next? It has to be next month.
I believe Backlash 2024. May 4th.
May 4th. So yeah, I guess
a little bit.
A few weeks away.
In France.
Yeah. So we'll have a few weeks to build it up.
Sorry, I just want to check. Okay. Where are we? Sheamus returns, defeats Ivar.
Back with his old theme song too.
I know.
Yeah, I love that.
I know.
Love that. It's a great song.
It started out like his new one, right? And then switched.
Yeah, then
right?
Yeah.
I
love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Really cool. He looks great. We're not going to talk about what everyone's being dicks about.
Yeah, I saw that. Like, come on.
Shut the fuck up.
He said too that he thought he was going to retire a few months ago and stuff from his injury. So I'm sure whatever injury it was, you can't do certain things. You're kind of restricted. So listen, Sheamus, he's a made man. He's awesome. He's fantastic in the ring. Who cares about how he looks? Like, come on.
I started seeing like a Photoshop going around that made it look hyperbolated or whatever
that's a
you
big
want.
word. Good word.
I'm not even sure hyperbole is a word. I'm not sure hyperbole
we'll pass
is a word.
it.
But anyway, happy to have Sheamus back. Looks great. And first thing, which he made note of it, I think on Twitter. First thing I noticed was he had on his attire, he had like the WWE logo on it, which no one does. And he tweeted like, I'm proud to wear this logo, and I think more people should wear their logo, like WWE logo, on their gear. Which I don't know why that stuck out to me, and it's funny that it stuck out to me, and then he also made note of it.
Yeah,
I thought it was just kind of like a whatever thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it looked that good, but
to each their own.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't look offensive, but
he's a company man.
That's what it was. It was a very company man move. Like, I'm wearing the logo on. This is we're probably. Well, I don't even want to say how old Sheamus.
All right, I'm gonna say 44.
The only reason I was gonna say like we might be toward the end of his career is because of what you just said of like, but when he got injured, he said he might be retiring.
Right,
so like if you're saying that coming off an injury, you might be doing like, you might be like, I'm gonna do one more stint.
Yeah, you're on limited time now.
46.
Yeah, I mean he looks great for 46.
For sure.
Let's just be honest. Yeah, I was gonna say he's been around for a while. Yeah. He's been around for a while.
Happy to have him back. I mean, like throw him in a title.
The one title he's never won is the IC title.
They made note of that.
So it's got to happen at some point, man. It's got to happen.
I saw at a house show they did Fatal Four-Way. Gunther, Sammy, Chad,
and Finn.
And his Finn. Yeah.
Fire.
Crazy.
Fire. Yeah. Listen, the IC title picture is it's looking damn good right now. I'm sure it's for the live shows, like Gunther being involved in it, but I don't know if he'll like on TV.
Yeah, I don't think
if
so
he'll
either.
be involved in it, but
we can segue right into that. Then Sami Zayn defeats Chad Gable to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Crazy match,
great match,
clinic. After the match, I think there was an arm raise or whatever, a little emotional. Chad again couldn't get it done.
Yep.
Sammy's hugging his wife and whatever, and Chad,
and all of a sudden
Chad hits a German suplex out of his wife's arms.
Amazing.
Chad Gable heel turn. Hell yeah.
I wasn't expecting it. I just I don't know. I just didn't think that was the direction they were going to go down. I saw some people like, "Oh, how would you not see it?" They've been hyped. They've been like planting the seeds for weeks. I'm like, yeah, but it's a surprise. I don't know. I wasn't expecting it. I love it. I mean,
great.
I think, if Chad Gable's going to win the IC title, this is going to be the time that he does it. I think just a new character change. Who knows what happens with Alpha Academy? I saw also the Creed brothers. One of them tweeted like ready, willing, Gable, which was the old Alpha. American Alpha. Is it American Alpha? Yeah, American Alpha, the tag team with him and Jason Jordan. I always get him. I think it's American Alpha. That was their old slogan. So people are saying it's going to be like Kurt Angle, Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas 2.0 type of thing.
That'd be sick.
I would love that.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Turn Chad Gable into Kurt Angle. All right, just make it happen. Two Olympians, Chad Gable, unbelievable in the ring. Let him go crazy on this heel run.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, give him Kurt's TNA
shave his head, make him bald.
See, I was on the other way. I think grow the hair back out
or grow
long
the hair
hair.
Back
Chad,
out. He was great with long hair. Yeah, rock the long hair for sure. But yeah, I'm very excited for this character change. Again, I wasn't expecting it, so now that it happened, I'm locked in.
Yeah, I'm kind of in your boat. I just kind of I don't like actively try to spoil things for myself. Which like when I go out to like, this is kind of not a tangent, but like if I'm seeing a movie with someone, it's happened before, and they'll like, we'll talk about it after, and they're like, oh, I saw that coming, or oh, I guess this will happen, and I'm like, do you sit there and actively try to ruin the movie for yourself? Like, do you actually try to like, you actually sit there and try to beat the movie?
And it's too like with like rumors and like dirt sheets and stuff, and like, oh, this person might be returning or something. Like there's a surprise return, and it's like, oh, well, I'd rather not see that and just be surprised watching the show.
But yeah, I think this is gonna be sick. I mean, Sammy just won. We haven't even talked about Sami Zayn entrance.
So the match was great. The entrance, even better.
My god,
even better.
So they followed Jay. They followed Jay out.
Jay when he shoved the guy
shoved the guy just in his way. And then the two of them are looking up at like the sign. Sammy, a really nice moment, because also they were in Montreal. Right?
Yep.
Really nice moment of Sammy just like, I used to come here and watch shows, or I used to want to compete here, whatever. And then following Sammy back in, and the crazy just like
hype, bro,
going through the hallways, going down the stairs into the arena. He grabbed the Canadian flag from someone.
Fire.
Really, really crazy. I mean, like, again, we don't have to credit them we can every single week, but like, the production
unbelievable
is just getting better and better each week, which adds to like, we wouldn't have gotten an entrance like this without that sort of production and thought behind 100%. It and detail behind it. And he felt like, I mean, of course he was going to win in Montreal. And I also love that it adds to Chad Gable's turn of turning on him in Montreal.
Right.
That gave super heat
to
Chad.
There was huge, like, fuck you, Gable chants when the show went off the air and stuff, too. Yeah.
So this is, I'm here for it. I've been, even before, like, going into Mania, I think we were both like, should have been Chad.
Right.
Which, like, I don't regret saying that. I think Chad
I'm
would have
happy
been
Sammy won. Like, it was a great moment, great match.
Like you just said, I have been proved to, like the Sam. I mean, like, once he won at Mania, or even like not even once he won, like during the match, once the match was like hot, I was like, all right, I'm glad Sammy is here, and then 100%. He won in that moment, and I was like they proved me. I don't want to say they proved me wrong. So I'm still in the camp of like, Chad would have also been just as good.
I agree,
but they proved to me that like Sammy was a good pick, and this moment in Montreal, this win against Chad, and the emotion he's been showing has been like, okay,
Sammy's just an easy guy to get behind,
and he's so good where it's just like, it's easy for him to take this, like, and we said it before Mania, like, he's not an underdog anymore. He does have the ability to turn himself into an underdog,
even as a champion.
Yeah, even as a champion. That's
right.
Exactly.
Even as a champion in his home country,
right? And he's still like an underdog and that hometown babyface, whatever. I was gonna say one more thing about it, I forget. Oh, but now I definitely want Sammy to have the title for a while. I'm fully behind the Sammy fucking train.
Yeah, because Chad turning heel now, it's like, well, I feel like it's inevitable that Chad's going to win the IC title.
I think so.
He's been chasing it for so long, but the heel turn happening as quickly as it did makes me think that it might strike when it's hot, right?
I don't think he can lose again. He really,
if he loses again, that'll be his third loss. Like, he lost to Gunther twice, and at that point you gotta at least separate it maybe a little bit.
Especially with the heel turn. And then if you lose coming off the heel turn,
it's just not believable. Yeah, it's like, if he doesn't win, then he's not going to. So I'm hoping that like Chad, maybe like he builds up his own team, maybe Alpha Academy, they follow suit and they become heel or something. Give them time to like solidify the heel role, and then you can revisit it.
Yeah, like whatever. I don't think he needs to win in France at Backlash.
No.
Maybe the pay-per-view after that. You know,
I mean, if we want to bring logic into it, it's like he just won a title match. He doesn't deserve another title.
He
match.
has lost a title match. Yeah,
yeah. It's like when he lost to Gunther, he's like, I want another match, and Adam Pearce is like, you keep losing.
Yeah, so, I mean, I hope if they really play into the rankings and have him work back up, and like you said, with the Creed brothers, kind of plow over, to get back up. Yeah, that's for sure what they should do.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see.
Very excited.
Yeah. Speaking of the Creed brothers, speaking of tag teams, we got new tag team titles.
We do. This was another thing. I was scrolling through Twitter and I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "I didn't expect this either."
They look good. I was a little critical on Twitter. No, I wouldn't even say critical. I said
why? What'd you say? What'd you say about them?
They just look like the World Heavyweight Championship.
They're very similar.
Which
100%.
Which I don't think is in the middle. I don't think it is inherently a bad thing. I just prefer the days where because they're gonna do the same thing with the tag titles on Raw.
I really hope the new SmackDown titles aren't similar to the WWE title.
I appreciate and can get behind a uniform look because the women's world title, the men's world title, and now what they're calling now the world.
You know what they call that? The UFC effect, baby. Because
that's what people are saying.
All their titles look the same. So
which I don't.
It just has a different. I don't love it either. But here's also where I stand. I think the Raw and SmackDown tag team titles are the ugliest championship
for sure
in WWE history. And I say this with all due respect. If you ever bought one of those titles, you deserve a refund. You deserve your money back because you've been scammed. Between the fucking penny, the old ones where it was the bronze color and stuff like that, to when they introduced the silver with the ugly straps, I see this. Yeah. And it's a million times better. So maybe I'm blinded by the fact that we had shitty belts for 15 years and this is just something better.
For sure.
But I do think they look good. But since it's much better than the old titles, I am all for it.
For sure. No, I'm in that same camp for sure. I just think I think I'd like them way better if the men's and women's world titles didn't look
I agree.
Similar.
No, I agree.
Standalone, they're beautiful.
Because maybe you could have done the world titles look the same, and then the tag team titles have their different look, but they look similar, but they're different. But
I think you know what I mean. I mean, I could also just be too nostalgic for how they looked when we were kids.
I mean, the old Raw and SmackDown tag team titles were beautiful.
I like the Raw ones.
Even the WWF ones, the old classic ones, that Dudley's had, Edge and Christian.
I love the SmackDown tag titles. I think I think they're so
I used
sick.
to have the toy plastic one when I was a kid, and I loved that belt.
But yeah, I mean, again, ultimately, I like them a lot. My only thing is the uniform thing, which I don't think is inherently a bad thing. I don't hate it, but I just prefer a little bit more of,
I agree. And what are they?
They're a little too round too. They're very round.
They are very that's
round.
The one they kept it the same as the last ones where it is like that.
They look a little awkward on the shoulder.
So they called the World Tag Team Champions. I wonder what the other belts are.
I'm assuming just WWE
Tag Team Champions.
Again, with the uniform with the WWE Championship,
right?
And,
See, at least this makes sense. So because the draft is.
Oh yeah, the draft got announced
in a few weeks. So it's now. I mean, and they kind of resolved this with the women's belts because it was Raw Women's Championship, SmackDown Women's Championship, and when the Raw Women's would go to SmackDown would go to Raw. At least now it's there's no brand attached to it. So now it's just okay, the World Tag Team Championships were on Raw, but now they're on SmackDown. But it makes sense because it's not tied to Raw.
I'm really curious if they really keep up the uniform over on SmackDown.
Yeah.
With because I
think it would look worse if they made it similar to the WWE Championship personally.
Because the men's WWE Championship and the women's WWE Championship, they're both the big logo and that's it. I can't picture a set of tag team titles looking like that. Especially, because at least with these, they at least look like a standard championship.
Right.
But with if they try to make the WWE Championship into tag titles, it just looks like two people carrying around the WWE Championship.
I'm with you.
Know what I mean?
I saw a mock, someone made it was resembling the WWE Championship, and I don't know where I can find it. I'm gonna try to keep looking for it so I can show you, but yeah, I hope it is gonna be slightly different from what the WWE Championship looks like. I'm all for that. Like, I think those are fine. It passes. It looks good. But I don't think I would get behind the SmackDown belts looking like
something like this. See this? Is this it?
It was like
Similar?
Round. It was like the Raw ones where it was round, but basically the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I mean, just don't think it would look as good personally, but
yeah,
that's my opinion.
I'm curious. Yeah, I'd imagine they're gonna reveal them maybe tomorrow on SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, a week before the draft, they want to get all this stuff squared away, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I forgot that. When's the draft again? It's next.
I think it's next
week.
Friday is the first one because SmackDown has the first day, which will also be interesting to see who they take because it's either going to be Cody or the Judgment Day as a group because they're going to have to pick a world champion with their first pick. It could be Roman. I don't know if Roman would get picked first. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. Huh.
Because usually it's the first two picks of the world champions. So
or they don't even pick Judgment Day. That's how you split them. But also, we talked about last week. I don't want them. They're so hot right now. Especially with Rhea now being out.
Yeah, it's a tough time to be doing that. Like down the line, I think you can absolutely make a story out of it, and I think it will happen. We've talked about Judgment Day can be another like Bullet, not comparing them to the Bullet Club, where it's like rotating members, like guys go in and out, whatever. I think they definitely should do that one day, but especially with the Rhea injury, they should hold off on that for a little bit.
As funny as like the draft can end up being, and as little as the last one ended up mattering, I am a sucker for draft night.
Oh, it's so they wrote fun. Me in every single time. So when was the last draft? I feel like it
wasn't that long.
It wasn't
ago.
That long.
No,
ago.
It might even have been like it was like maybe a year or two.
It may have been so bad that they were like, we need to do this again and make it like make sense. You know?
I don't know.
Because now they split the belts. They have the two GMs now, so it's like they can take it a little bit more seriously. Last year it wasn't as structured as it is now.
And I'm hoping with all the production changes and just with this new era we're in, like, you know, give me a fun way to do it. Either like do the ball thing again, or just have like we're looking at this thing, just like the cool randomizer.
Instead of doing like
give us
picking
something,
the top guys.
Yeah, something like visually cool. Even if like you do have like the GM come out and just like, announce it. I think there's a lot of stuff you can do with it, and I think if you want to separate it from how, I don't want to even call the last one bad, but just how just like brushed over it ended up getting.
I agree.
I think, and if you want to make it a thing, if you really in this Triple H era, you really want to separate them with the tag belts and with everything. Let's have some fun with it. Do something cool.
I'm with you. Yes, it lost its fun effect since we've been kids. Fun effect might be a weird way of putting it, but yeah, it just hasn't been as a big of a feel, I guess, since we were kids.
We can go to quick notes on Andrade and Dom. Tore the house down.
That Canadian destroyer.
Oh
on the
my
apron?
God!
Are you kidding me, Dom?
Yeah, it's funny they call
it
Canadian, or they changed the. No, what'd they call it? Didn't they call it something else?
Did they call it something else?
I thought they called it something. I could be wrong. I thought they called it, or they might just call it a destroyer. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Regardless,
either way,
it looked good,
bro.
It looked good.
I mean, also like credit to
Andrade too,
because these two have so much chemistry. Yeah, this was sick. I'm excited to see where this goes. I forgot if anything kind of led into or out of it, but either way, match fire, super sick. Again, it kind of just leads into what are they doing with Judgment Day? Is LWO kind of maybe recruiting Dom? Seems like they might pause on that with Rhea injury. I think there was also, I forget which segment it was, but I think there was also someone that made note of like, Dom, what are you going to do with like mommy injured and mommy not around, or what I mean?
Hey, this could be a big run for Dom here.
Genuinely.
Separate himself a little bit as a single start.
I mean, has Dom hasn't had a singles title on the main roster, has he?
No, he's only won the tag team belts with his dad.
With his deadbeat dad.
Yeah, deadbeat dad.
I mean, like, I don't know Logan's with the U.S. title. I don't know. I think there's a way with this year. I think there's a way to get Dom in one of those pictures.
I just thought about this. He did have the NXT North American belt. But not main. He hasn't had a main roster singles title.
I think there's opportunity here somewhere this year to get him in that. Maybe not Intercontinental does seem a little, I don't know, a little elevated. starting with the U, or maybe give him the IC. I don't know. I want him to win one of them.
Yeah, I think we're getting to a point. I mean, he keeps getting better and better.
He's good,
on
man.
the mic, in the ring. I mean, it's just it's one of those things. He's so young still, so it's like the more experience, the more he gets under his belt, the better he gets. And I think we're really starting to see, that side of Dom where it's like this guy can go in the ring. Like, like obviously years ago he was new, he was fresh, he wasn't doing stuff like this, but he's improved a lot, and I think he should be rewarded for that.
I agree.
All right.
What do you say we wrap up the episode here with some AEW Dynasty predictions?
Let's do it.
Is this the full match card? I think it's the full.
Are we doing the points, confidence points for this?
No, I'm not prepared for that. We're just going to go straight up.
I was hoping you were going to say that.
For
your
undisputed predictions championship. Again, I like to remind everyone because it got overshadowed by some hot comments made at the beginning of the episode. But again, sweep city on WrestleMania predictions. I'm just
crazy.
I'm just
you kicked my ass on the predictions. I'll admit it. I'm not great at predictions.
We need to get a new prediction.
An actual belt. Why? What's wrong with that one?
I love it. But it would make the predictions title feel a little more prestigious.
I agree.
But
all right,
I'm just assuming this is the full card. I'm on if things
get added,
I'm on CBSSports.com.
Don't kill us.
Updated 19 hours ago. I guess we'll start at the bottom of the article here. Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe versus House of Black, being Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews. I don't know if this is the one, but I think 2 matches got added last night. It was a pretty tight card, and then a lot of shit got added. But anyway, off Ripski. I mean, I'm just looking at. I don't know. I like House of Black too.
Yeah.
I'm also just looking at the baby faces here. Let's read what. Only one of 2 non-title matches on the show. Oh, wow. Former AEW Trios champions House of Black take on 3 of the promotion's most hard-nosed athletes. The House's issues with Adam Copeland are new as Malachi Black eyes Copeland's TNT championship. Oh, yeah, no TNT title match. They're just, okay, that's weird. House Black has a bad habit of making enemies that equip Copeland with plenty of reinforcements. Kingston Briscoe.
Briscoe just won was it the Ring of Honor World Championship?
He won something.
Yeah, he just won the Ring of Honor. He beat Eddie Kingston, so now they're teaming up.
Oh.
I'll just say I'm going Team Adam, going Team Cope here.
I think I'm with you.
I just think I don't think Adam Copeland should lose.
Especially because I'm shocked he's not defending the TNT title.
Right.
So with him just having it, might as well keep the guy that has the title strong.
Right.
And then if you want to eventually get to a Malachi Black match.
And Eddie just lost, so giving him another win, and Mark just won. So I think kind of putting Mark on that big AEW pay-per-view, that platform, I think it would be a great place for fans to see him get a win, to see him show out and stuff. And House of Black, I mean, do they win all the time? Not really, but they're proven. So it's I don't think a loss here really hurts them necessarily.
Yeah.
Especially if they're staying in the TNT picture of Malachi Black.
Yeah, so. as long as just don't have Malachi eat the pin.
100%. Yeah.
TBS Championship, Julia Hart versus Willow Nightingale in a house rules match.
Yeah.
Which this says there are 20-second countouts instead of 10. Disqualifications are enforced with no rope breaks. The most interesting rule is the dealer's choice, where the challenger gets to set one stipulation, which it doesn't seem like maybe they set it night of. I don't know. I'm going Willow Nightingale here. I think Julia's had it for a little bit. I mean, tough. If this is the case, so what we're saying so far, tough night for the House of Black.
Yeah.
But I've liked Julia Hart's run. I've liked the Sky Blue involvement stuff. To me, it just really seems Willow seems to have that push right now. It also really seems they're leading to Willow versus Mercedes.
Yes.
Which I think is inevitable that Mercedes can get the TBS championship.
And that's why I'm also picking Willow.
I
think it's just, again, you're setting up that feud. They have a history together. Julia has had a great run. If she wins, great. I think it would be cool to see her keeping the reign going and stuff. But I think they want to give Mercedes the belt, I think it's smart to give it to Willow and kind of continue that story and go that direction.
Yeah, they've been teasing Willow Mercedes,
Right.
unless Mercedes costs her, could Mercedes
something
cost
like that.
Willow. They do Willow's Mercedes non-title. I don't know. AEW International Championship, Roderick Strong, the champion, versus Kyle O'Reilly, former little Undisputed Era stuff here. The decision was
O'Reilly
made.
just came back.
Yeah, it says the decision was made for him at AEW Battle of the Belts X. O'Reilly tried intervening as Strong in the Kingdom attacked Rocky Romero, spurring Strong in the company to lay out former friend, blah, blah, blah. O'Reilly is looking to get vengeance. I've heard some stuff. I think I saw it yesterday that Adam Cole, he hasn't been on TV for a while. He's even not traveling now because his injury hasn't been healing. That just to help the injury heal more.
Sure.
He's not. Apparently, what I'm seeing is he isn't in the best shape, especially with the travel he was doing.
Sure.
So, and also it seems like the Undisputed Kingdom stuff is. I don't want to say. I don't know if they
died down a whole lot.
It's not what it. It's not what they were thinking
from when they debuted, when everything happened with MJF to now. It's just it's really been a fall from grace, unfortunately.
I kind of just see. I don't know. I kind of just see a Roderick Strong defense.
I'm picking Strong here because I'm picking Strong because I don't see why he'd lose the title so quickly after winning it. They made such a big deal out of him winning it. I also can see Kyle O'Reilly eventually falling into the Undisputed Kingdom and joining them. Maybe it takes a lot to kind of for his eyes to open up and to see this is the group he should be in. Because I don't know, I just think of it like Strong, O'Reilly, Adam Cole eventually comes back. You have the Undisputed Era within the Undisputed Kingdom.
And Bobby Fish is sitting on the
sidelines. So, yeah, I'm going to go Strong here. I just don't see him losing. And O'Reilly just came back, too. He's awesome. I think he's phenomenal. But I don't think you should win here.
AEW Continental Championship, Kazuchika Okada versus Pac. Continental Rules match. A lot of different stipulations that I don't know. Expect intense Chrissy. All Continental title matches are contested under Continental Rules, meaning any outside interference is met with strict penalties. Which is still very vague. Okada won it fairly recently. I like the Okada.
Okada isn't getting pinned for a long time. I think if it's one of those things where it's he just won the belt. There is no way they're going to have him lose this early on. Not even in the title reign, but since he's debuted in AEW.
Wow, 18-year tenure in New Japan. Holy shit. He was there
for a very long time.
Wow. I didn't know it was that long. Holy shit.
I remember when he was leaving New Japan, everyone before he came to AEW, he was doing contract negotiations. People were like, this is like John Cena leaving WWE.
Yeah.
He's just been there his whole life, and then eventually things happen, and now he's in AEW. But yeah, again, he's Okada, arguably the best wrestler in the world. Pac, amazing. He's also one of the greatest, but it's way, way too early for Okada to be losing.
Yeah, it just seems like this is a good challenger, a good first big match,
I agree.
Especially with Okada, being aligned with the Bucks, and their whole story is still kind of
and they have their match later in the night. I think this could be match of the night.
It has potential.
There's a lot of matches on the card, but I think this has potential to be match of the night.
AEW Women's World Championship, Timeless Toni Storm versus Thunder Rosa. I mean, I could see Mariah May has been on a really, really hot streak. I could see it is for the World Championship, but I would like to see Mariah May eventually do the turn and take it off Tony, But I'm going again. It is another thing with the TBS thing. It's maybe Mariah. This is the Mariah turn.
She gets
Mariah cost the title,
or Thunder wins it, and then Mariah's I'll get the belt back. She wins it.
That could be it too.
Something there. I'm gonna go Toni Storm though.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to. Yeah, we do. Maybe we should have done. The confidence things, but too late now.
Yeah, I think again, it's Thunder Rosa's great, former champion. Tony,
this is Rose's first time competing for the title since relinquishing it in 2022.
Interesting. Yeah, Toni Storm, arguably best character in AEW right now. Just everything she's been doing has been timeless. It has been priceless. It has been great. And I think you mentioned Mariah May. Eventually, I think you're going to see someone turn on someone that'll lead into a big match. I'd imagine that match is going to be for the championship. That's kind of where I'm coming from. And yeah, I think Storm is so good right now that don't take the belt off of her.
For the vacated AEW Tag Team Championships, the EVP Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson versus FTR in a ladder match. You were talking match of the night too. I think this one's some.
I'll be honest with you, didn't know it was a ladder match.
Didn't know it was a ladder match either. Yeah, also didn't know.
Yeah, this could definitely be the match of the night too.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, and you're also they're playing on a lot of the, the footage from last week, and they really played that into FTR were a big reason for this, and da-da-da. So it's like they have the story here with the drama in London that I think is going to really bleed in.
Yep.
Regardless, whether you have that story or not, whether you have it's like EVP Bucks or FTR defending themselves or whatever, you don't need a story for these two teams.
No.
They're going to go, especially, like I said, I also didn't really know it was a ladder match. They're going to fucking go crazy.
They're going to kill each other.
They're going to go nuts. Yeah, I guess the answer is...
Yeah, who are you picking?
I don't know. I mean, you have the EVP Bucks, and I like the idea of the EVP Bucks because they're coming off showing the footage and they're doing like the dastardly bosses sort of angle. Gut says EVP Young Bucks.
I'm also going with the Young Bucks. I also just see it too like
it's gonna come down to like one match.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe at the end of it, maybe we can do like a few, like do our top 3 confidence points or something like that. Yeah. Maybe we can do something like that. Because I also just picture like Okada's gonna win, Young Bucks gonna win.
Yeah.
All 3 have championships. I think you can run with that. Make them one of the most dominant factions in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Let them run with that for a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if FTR won. I think either one that wins, I mean, it's going to be good. The match is going to be phenomenal. These two teams could fight forever. They could have 5-star classics every time they step in the ring. But I think the Young Bucks should win this one.
Yeah, I just feel like the shitty, like, the shitty bosses having the tag titles, I think lend more to their character than FTR having them right now would. I don't know. I'm excited for this match, though. Another match I'm excited for.
This is
coming off of last night, a little... not a pull apart, but like a the security guards holding Samoa Joe back, and Swerve hit this fucking like superhero fucking knee or stomp on top of everyone that landed. But AEW World Championship, Samoa Joe versus Swerve Strickland.
Dude, I don't know.
I don't know
I
either.
actually don't know. I mean, I want Swerve to win. I mean, I've been wanting Swerve to be AEW World Champion for a while, but.
I mean, this article, the beginning of this article says it seems to be a matter of if not when Strickland becomes AEW World Champion.
Right. I mean, Joe's had the belt since end of December. So he's had the belt for 4 months. It doesn't feel like it's been 4 months. It feels less than that. Doesn't. Maybe time's been going by fast or something. I don't know. It seems like this title reign has gone by super quick.
You also have to think of like all the Hangman stuff because Hangman
is Hangman going to cost Swerve? Right. Are they going to? Is that going to lead into another? thing between them? Double or Nothing is next month too.
The triple threat, the ending of the triple threat match is like one of my favorite endings to a match in like recent memory. With like Hangman taking the loss just so Swerve couldn't get the win. All right, I have it. Do you have yours or no?
You go first.
Swerve. Yeah, Swerve. We're not drive. Yeah, Swerve. We're not drive.
I don't know. Double or Nothing is next month, and Double or Nothing's like their big pay-per-view, right? It's gonna be in Vegas. I'm thinking like, what if Joe somehow won, whether it was an interference, something, maybe it was a count out, Swerve does something that costs him the match, and then it comes down to, all right, this is your last chance at Double or Nothing. Like, it could be something like that.
You also have All In at the end of August. Not that's like that close. But
yeah,
like,
yeah. For the sake of being different and the fact that we have had the same picks the whole time, and I genuinely am 50-50, I'm going to go Samoa Joe. I do want Swerve to win. Yeah. But I'm going to say Samoa Joe for the sake of it, and thinking they're going to save Swerve's title win, build it up a little bit more. Again, if Swerve loses, it's not going to be a clean loss, I don't think. I think it's going to be something happens. Fans are going to be like getting a little bit more antsy, which that could be a bad thing. But I think in this case, like, okay, like he lost it. We're getting closer and closer and closer to it. It'll lead into one more match, and that's when you strike.
I also think like I've liked Joe as champion. It seems a little. It's okay.
Also, compared to like the reign we just came off of, MJF was especially towards the latter half of his reign, he was great and everything. So I think that
some of my favorite parts of Joe's reign has been this recent Swerve and Hangman feud.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's like even though he's the champion, it's kind of been highlighted by the two challengers.
I want to look at his what championship matches he's had. Wow, he won it in December. Holy shit.
Yeah, very end of December.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be easier. Here we go. Mojo, Captures, Wrestlers Database. Oh, this probably isn't gonna. Okay, hold on. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot he faced Hook. That's so funny. I forgot about that.
So he beat MJF.
He won. Boom. Beat MJF. Then he defeated Hook.
Yep.
That's not a title match.
And Adam Pearce.
And then that's the 3-way.
And then Wardlow.
Yep.
And then that's right. He's only had 3 title defenses.
So and what the eliminator,
yeah. Dustin. So that wasn't a world title match exactly,
which was funny.
Eliminator means it's like if
Dustin won,
he gets a title. Okay,
gotcha. Which was funny. I saw on Twitter, it was like, because that was the show, like I think right after Mania, and they had a Samoan versus a Rhodes.
Yes, yeah. They really decided to run it with that 100%.
So I don't know. I mean.
Yeah, he hasn't had a lot of title defenses.
Do I think there's a lot, like, I think, to your credit for picking Joe, I think there's a lot more that they can do, and there's a lot more, I don't know, what am I trying to say? A lot more rope to run, or a lot more they can get out of a Samoa Joe title run. But I don't know. It has.
Yeah, I'm genuinely torn on this. Like, I'm sticking with Joe, but this is going to be it's going to be an interesting match, seeing what they do here. If Hangman's going to be involved, if whatever, but yeah, it's going to be a great match. That's all I know.
Very interesting. Final match of the night. I don't know if this is going to be the main event, but they have it at the top one.
It should be the main event.
Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson.
Woo! Yes.
This is really, I mean, they're really hyping this up to kind of crown who's the best wrestler alive? Who's the best technical wrestler alive?
Yep. Are you going to have Will Ospreay lose his first pay-per-view? Well, not first pay-per-view match for AEW, but like being an active AEW competitor. Are you going to have him lose his first big match?
I don't know. I mean, it's against Bryan Danielson.
Bryan Danielson hasn't, he gets his wins and losses. He has his big wins. Sometimes he loses. He puts guys over as well. Danielson is, he's a professional. He knows when to take a loss to someone and stuff like that. And I think he's gonna do it for Ospreay. I think he's gonna have Will Ospreay go over here. I just think you just signed Will. He has all this momentum right now. He's been on fire with the promos, the matches. Match with Claudio was fucking awesome.
It was. That was really good. Yeah.
So I think I said the same thing with Okada. I don't think he should lose for a little bit. I think you really have to ride the momentum, let him get these big wins against some of the greatest wrestlers in the world, and then elevate him to the world championship picture. Maybe by the time All In comes around, he'll be in there. But I do think he should beat Danielson. I think this will be a clinic.
Yeah.
I think this will be at least 30 minutes. I think this will be like a long match. It's going to be...
Could get a match of the year potential.
It could be match of the year. So I think Will Ospreay should go over here.
See, I'm thinking, because Will Ospreay is full-time. And yes, he is like... And you can say the same thing about Okada. Yes, he is special. Yes, he is who I think's like the best wrestler in the world right now. But I don't think he's... Like, he signed a full-time contract. He's wrestling on every Dynamite. So I don't think he's supposed to be treated as this, like, untouchable. We only see him because we don't, like... I'm trying to put into words what I'm saying. So more of the story is, I don't think he's someone that they think they need to protect and never lose. Okay,
I get what you're saying.
Because he's gonna be wrestling every week. So right. I think he can lose here, but he can get this win here, whatever.
He's another guy. This is the third time I'm gonna say this. He's a made man. He can take a loss, and he can bounce back from it. And he just came in. It's like maybe you put him through the ringer. Maybe you give him a loss and kind of build him up.
What I think is the story here is going to be like Bryan Danielson is like his first big, as of signing, his first big solo pay-per-view match. He's had some great matches on Dynamite that have gotten him to this point. But I think it's going to be like a thing of like Bryan Danielson is going to act as almost the gatekeeper to that next level. Sure. Will Ospreay loses, I think.
Okay.
Bryan Danielson gets the win.
There we go.
And this either sets up like rematches. They do a best of 3 between the two.
That would be sick.
Or because I like the idea of the story of like Bryan Danielson gets the win. Will Ospreay kind of his kayfabe momentum gets stopped because he's been on this tear since joining.
100%.
And he's been like, oh shit, now I'm facing the guy that's at the top of the mountain and I lost. Because I think if he beats Bryan Danielson, that puts him up too quickly.
I get that.
Gives him a little bit of like, a little bit kind more room.
You push it instead of like giving it some time to build him up to the World Championship picture. It's like you just beat Danielson. It's like, what's the next step? The next step is the World Championship picture, probably.
And I would love, whether they do like a rematch or a best of 3 or like something. But I could really see Danielson being kind of like the veteran that like, you thought you're on a run.
You're great, but you're not better than me.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I like that.
That's what I'm thinking.
I like that. See, we had the same picks up until the last
I know.
matches,
so that's going to be... But also, if we're... because we only have 2 different, that could split. It could be a tie.
Sure, you meant to put Danielson?
Whoops, yes. Good catch.
Yeah. So I was like, if you said Ospreay, my closing line was going to be, well, we're going to crown a new winner. All right, we're gonna crown a winner. There's gonna be no like ties or anything. But now
we could definitely tie.
Now we definitely could tie.
I like that it's more different at least. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for especially that top of the card. I mean, these last 3 matches with the Ospreay Danielson, Joe Strickland, Bucks FTR. It's looking good.
There's some good matches on this card. There's some really good Thunder matches. Too. Yep. Man. It's gonna be a good card. It's gonna be a good pay-per-view. It's this Sunday. Yeah, they don't do the Saturdays. They do the Sundays. I always get those confused.
I think that's one I'm gonna have to catch up on because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to watch it live. But we'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Let's just do a quick.
See if we miss anything. Anything happens during filming.
See if any celebrities died.
Sophie broke the news to us about OJ last week.
That's in the video that came out.
Did it really?
Yeah, I kept it in there.
That's hilarious.
The video that came out yesterday. Blah blah.
Yeah, I don't think
Future WrestleMania. The site for WrestleMania 41 is expected to be formally announced next month. Okay.
A lot of rumors about Vegas.
Yeah,
a lot of rumors about Vegas. Yeah,
be cool. That makes sense. Oh, have it in the dome.
That would
have everyone in the dome
where it's not cold.
Hell yeah.
No, I think
Las Vegas is the highest considering one.
They make a lot of money if they put it there. So yeah, I think that's
that. I know we did skip around WWE a little bit.
Next week, NXT Trick Williams Ilya, and for the NXT Championship. If Trick loses, he's gone from NXT. So with the draft being next week and Ilya, I don't know. We didn't really talk about it too much, but Ilya and Roxanne Perez made their Raw debuts last week.
Right.
When they did, they were mentioning NXT superstars are eligible to be drafted.
I mean,
also main roster superstars are eligible to go to NXT. I think this draft, they're really trying to hammer the fact that NXT is a third brand and trying to separate it as much of a developmental brand as they can, but I'm not giving a prediction to Trick Ilya here, but I can see Trick winning and Ilya gets that like send off to go to the main roster and stuff. Because Ilya, I mean, he's great. I think he's a phenomenal NXT champion. I think no matter what roster he's on, he's gonna kill it. But he's so good, and I'm not trying to say he's too good for NXT, but he's graduated. He's ready for the main roster, man. He's so ready.
I think we'll probably see Carmelo Hayes. I think officially
Braun
get the
Breaker's
call up.
Definitely gonna get the call up.
Is Braun Breakers Braun Breakers had a couple matches?
He signed, and then they kind of cooled down because he won the titles with Corbin, but then they lost him. Yeah. So now he's not. I think after that match, he did a whole they were doing thank you, Braun. I think he gave a speech or something off the show. We're gonna get some call ups.
I would be curious to see who gets moved over to NXT.
Yeah, I just imagine it being like Karrion Kross and Authors of Pain have been on NXT. Yeah. I think it's gonna be mostly people that are kind of floating around on the main roster and could get that extra push. Ivar showed up in NXT last week.
I like that he dropped the Viking thing, which I don't dislike the Viking thing, but it's cool to get something different out of him.
When Eric comes back, you can do the Viking thing. If Ivar is by himself, let him do his thing. Yeah, I would just imagine it being superstars that are kind of floating around.
Is that title match just on it's just an episode of NXT? It's not a special.
The Trick one? Yeah, that's gonna be next Tuesday. That's cool. Yeah. I think it's a steel cage match too.
Fun.
I think it's steel cage.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, that match is gonna kick all kinds of ass.
It's crazy.
I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, draft next week. AEW this weekend. Big things happening in wrestling right now. Big things happening.
Yeah, it's nice to see it not because usually I think we might hit a lull eventually. It's just inevitable coming off Mania, but so far
it's so good.
We're keeping up.
We've seen the best Raw after Mania in years. Could be ever. SmackDown, the whole Bloodline stuff happening. They're staying strong with their stories. So kudos to them.
Well, with that said, that's our show this week. Thank you for watching. Thank you again for BABLE for sponsoring today's episode. Go check out all of that stuff. We have it. It's in the comments and description or whatever. And off that, and that's it.
Yeah, that's all we got.
I'm working on it's proven to be a longer edit than I thought, but we still got the wrestling video in our back pocket.
Yeah, that's coming out, guys. Don't worry.
I'm hoping next week. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's definitely a bigger.
It's a project.
Yeah, they always kind of.
We want to make it perfect. John wants to make it perfect, so it takes time.
So. With that said, thank you again for watching. Follow us on everything. Please make sure you're subscribed. Hit join the Discord. Forgot to mention this at the top. We have merch in the description. A lot of beanies left. Get yourself a beanie. A few hoodies left. So those are almost sold out. So we thank you for everyone that's grabbed one. We appreciate it either or. With that said, we'll see you in the next one. We'll see you all week.
Yes.
As a matter of fact.
We'll see you. Boom. Peace.